Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for the 14th of August. All right, now let's just have a look at the majors. Now, this is where the trading week for me really starts. It's pretty much every week, but definitely after a load of geopolitical issues over the weekend. We now have all the majors. See how they've stabilised and started to trade sideways. That means the market is basically requesting more information, okay? Is the news about Turkey and everything else flowing on, is that all media hype, or is there actually real numbers to back it up? The move back in dollar yen sort of late yesterday in Asia suggested to me that the risk was back on, okay? They were reversing that safe haven play, and that's where all the majors stabilised, even dollar CAD for that matter. So what that does is it really gears us up, and this is a really good thing because we do have some key economic numbers coming out today, in particular on sterling. Now, when you do look at sterling and euro, both of them have dropped significantly through some key levels. But now we've got the formation of support levels again. And if this data is weak, whether it's the German numbers or the UK numbers today, then we have an actual specific entry level on the downside, as well as if the numbers are strong and there's nothing further out of Turkey or any other issues, we may start to see the short squeeze to the top side. Now, I still think these currencies are going down, but we may see better levels to get in on the top side, or even potential short-term long opportunities. And that's where we are. So the majors are looking very attractive at the moment. Now, if I just come back to, let's have a look at the US dollar and our friend, the offshore yuan, dollar yuan. Well, as you can see, the dollar index. So let me just take that to the hourly chart so you can actually see a little bit better the price action. What we're looking at is we've got that move higher in the dollar. All right, so now that's significant. You can see how even with the current movements, the US dollar had the initial spike. It's now trading sideways as well. What we're waiting for is the next fundamental release to tell us whether it goes up or down, and that'll be replicated on all the majors. Now, also have a look at the offshore yuan, dollar yuan. Okay, it's stabilised as well. If anything, you can start to potentially draw in short-term support trend line there. Now, don't forget, this is where you match up the potential opportunities today. We have the some key numbers coming out of China here today. Okay, the urban investment numbers, industrial output, and retail sales. These are a big wham, bam, thank you, ma'am number, and we may see some specific activity in the offshore yuan. If the numbers are weak, well, dollar China, if you want to call it that, will rally. If the numbers are strong, then we may see a dip in dollar China, and that will see the Aussie and Kiwi rally. So this is going to be very important to really kick the week off. All right. So when we come back down and you have a look at the market conditions, just in the MyFX Trading Hub. Now, sometimes what you got to do especially when there's a lot of geopolitical issues over the weekend, you've got to wait, right? And sometimes you wait a couple of days, sometimes you wait a week. Sometimes it's just the next day. And the markets have definitely stabilised, and we are ready to hit them again. And we know what's going on. The overall sentiment is down. So all we have to do is match the sentiment up with the potential economic numbers, and that's where the good opportunities are. Now, today's key numbers, okay, if you look across the board, we've got German GDP numbers. We've got the Eurozone GDP flash numbers later in the day. But we have one of the big ones for the UK, the average weekly earnings, as well as the claimant count change and the unemployment rate. Now, this is going to be pretty hairy. Okay, if I just come back to the major pairs here, what we're trying to do is just match up, as I said, the opportunities with the potential in the market. Now, as I said, we do have some nice levels here now on sterling. Don't forget there is Brexit simmering in the background. So when you do come to look at the release of today's data, you're really focusing in on the detail. Now, I've highlighted the average earnings as being the key component. It is something the central bank, the Bank of England, is looking at very closely. But don't forget, there are three components here. Okay, you've got the average earnings, the claimant count change, and the unemployment rate. Now, this is not an opportunity where I would put more than one lot, as in one amount of my trade on. This is not like a huge winner. There's 3 or 4 variables, so you need to factor that into your opportunity. What we do know that is sterling, if I just come back to the chart, is going down. Okay, it's under all sorts of pressure at the moment. So this number here will be very important to the next level of direction. Does it go up or does it go down? Well, today's data will tell us. And we've got levels on both sides of the market. To me, the best opportunity is definitely the downside, right? Because that goes with the current trend. Even if we get strong numbers, you know, it may be an opportunity to get long short term, but still I'm a seller of sterling overall. Okay, the overall long-term trend at the moment is down. So focus on weak UK numbers gives us a great trading opportunity. You'll definitely see something in the next best trade area regarding the UK employment numbers. All right, now what else is coming out? Now, when there are geopolitical issues, I mentioned this yesterday, what you generally find is heightened sensitivity around some of the numbers. Now, the Eurozone is really on edge at the moment, especially with the potential contagion effect from the Turkish lira. So I expect the German GDP numbers to come into play if there is some significant variance. The Eurozone flash numbers also important for today's trading session. All right, then as we come through into the North American session, as you can see, there's very little on, right? And this is something you just have to bear with. So during that North American session, there's no fundamental drivers. We may hear something out of Trump. We may hear something out of a left field comment from some other politician. We can't control that. So the European session is where the action's going to be, and that's what you really need to be focusing on. And this is, as I said, this is really the start of the trading week. And if you start to look across the board here at the rest of the opportunities, it's going to be getting really good. So the fact that the markets have stabilised is awesome. I was very concerned at the start of the week. We've got a great week of economic numbers. The fact that it's stabilised sets us up for a really good trading week. And if you come back down here, obviously today's action-packed. US retail sales and UK CPI, if we can get to those two numbers without any other geopolitical events, well, then we're looking really good, okay? So that's, and we can't do anything to prepare for that. If something happens, it happens. But just focus on what's in front of us. At the moment, the conditions are clear. So today's economic numbers will potentially provide really good momentum trading opportunities. And once again, focus on the pairs that are important to today's releases. So with the Chinese number, okay, you're looking at specifically the Aussie and Kiwi. Then when you come obviously into the Eurozone, you're looking at Euro and the Euro crosses. And then obviously with the sterling, you're looking at the British pound. That's going to be the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, it's got the most aggressive sort of downtrend at the moment. I suspect that's going to be the pair most are going to be looking for a sell level down through that support line. It looks pretty gorgeous to me. All right, so that's where we are, guys. This is really good. So just take your time. There's no need to rush the opportunities. Okay, with jumping into these trading opportunities, we're looking for momentum, and then we're looking to get into the trades. And once again, if you are looking back across your general news services, you'll see that still it's not as heightened as it was, but you can still see the remnants of just that geopolitical weekend where there was loads of crap out. Turkish lira sort of being sprayed all over the place. You've still got the issues with oil, but we are starting to look pretty good. All right, that's it from me, guys. There's not much else more to it. Follow the numbers. We've got good technicals building. I think it's going to be a good trading day. So tune up your charts and fine-tune your capital management. That's the key to this. All right, guys, have a good trade day. I'll see you in the live trade zone. Cheerio.